In one of the most significant decisions of his papacy, Pope Francis has rejected opening up the Roman Catholic priesthood to married men. His decision came after months of speculation over the Catholic Church's commitment to maintain the centuries-old practice of celibacy for members of its clergy. In October 2019, two-thirds of bishops from the Amazon region in South America requested an exception that the Vatican allow them to make married men priests to deal with an acute shortage of priests. But the supporters of priest celibacy feared if the Amazonian proposal was accepted, it would set a precedent that could bring an end to Catholic Church priest celibacy worldwide. The former Pope Benedict XVI has joined the calls for maintaining priestly celibacy in a new book written with conservative Cardinal Robert Sarah. In the book From the Depth of Our Hearts, which defends priest celibacy, Benedict wrote that he cannot keep silent. The book has been seen as an intervention aiming to draw the lines on where Pope Francis's reform agenda should stop. But after backlash in which scholars said Benedict risked undermining his successor, the former pope asked to be removed as a co-author. But why is priest celibacy a contentious issue in the Catholic Church? Is it a matter of discipline or doctrine? The controversy over relaxing priest celibacy rules in the Catholic Church underscores the conservative-progressive battle over changing the Church's outlook on marriage, women inclusion, and birth control, among others. But ordaining married men as priests, if it was ever to be accepted, wouldn't be a break from Catholic traditions, but would rather be a return to first millennium practice when it was perfectly regular for married men to be ordained deacon or priest provided they separated from their wives beforehand. Pope Francis's refusal to relax celibacy rules came as a disappointment to many waiting for the Church to take an active stand against the growing decline of priests. Vatican statistics show that between the years 1975 and 2008, the population of Catholics increased by 64%, from 709.6 million to 1.17 billion, and the number of priests increased by only 1%, from 404,783 to 409,166. But Pope Francis decided to preserve the status quo, and addressing the issue of priest scarcity, he suggested sending more missionaries to remote areas. According to the Catholic Church's Code of Canon Law, which govern the Church and lay out its ideology, celibacy is a special gift from God, which allows practitioners to follow more closely the example of Christ. His move is seen as a setback to many Catholics hoping to see Pope Francis bringing more fundamental changes to the Church. The Catholic Church has witnessed a number of significant changes over the last decades. Massive population growth in the developing world and the declining population of the developed world means that the Church, that was once dominated by Europe and North America in the 20th century, now has two-thirds of its members living in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. In 2013, for the first time in Catholic Church history, Pope Francis became the first Latin American to lead the Roman Catholic Church. His predecessor, Pope Benedict, shocked the world when he became the first pope to resign from his position in 600 years. While citing his advanced age as motivation, many suspected that the scandals of sexual abuse and financial misconduct the Church was reeling from were the reasons behind his departure. 7 years into his papacy, Francis has already set the tone of a pope who will bring change. In 2018, he wrote about sexual misconduct by the Church in a letter addressed to the people of God, saying, "With shame and repentance, we acknowledge as an ecclesial community that we were not where we should have been, that we did not act in a timely manner, realizing the magnitude and the gravity of the damage done to so many lives. We showed no care for the little ones, and we abandoned them." Progressive Catholics have long suggested a number of recommendations to deal with the crisis of the Catholic Church, from reforming canon law to elevating nuns to the position of cardinal and getting rid of the priest celibacy rule. But in the words of Pope Francis, change in the Catholic Church is not an easy mission.
E parlando della riforma mi viene in mente l'espressione simpatica e significativa di Monsignore Frédéric François Xavier de Merot. Fare le riforme a Roma è come pulire la Sfinge di Egitto con uno spazzolino da denti.
In this 2017 speech, Pope Francis's critique of Vatican top administration came shortly before the funeral of Cardinal Bernard Law, the former Boston Archbishop at the heart of the 2002 Boston Globe revelations that revealed archbishops who had systematically covered up the rampant sexual abuse of minors. Unlike Pope Francis, who was promised a zero-tolerance policy with sexual abuse cases, retired Pope Benedict has published a letter in 2019 in which he blamed clerical sex abuse on the all-out sexual freedom of the 1960s that, according to him, led to homosexuality and pedophilia. Pope Francis called for more concrete measures to tackle the crisis. In 2019, he announced abolishing the rule of pontifical secrecy, changing the way the Roman Catholic Church dealt with cases of sexual abuse of children. And the concept of reform and adjusting to the modern world is not new to the Catholic Church. Aggiornamento, an Italian word meaning bringing up to date, became the catchphrase during the Catholic Church's Second Vatican Council. The council presided over various meetings between 1962 and 1965. Responding to cultural changes after World War II, the Council laid the foundation for the Church as we know it today, embracing human rights, democracy, freedom of religion, and condemning anti-Semitism. Thousands of bishops, observers, and sisters joined 4 sessions at St. Peter's Basilica. The outcomes were 16 documents in which the Catholic Church allowed Catholics to pray with other Christian communities, encouraged friendship with non-Christian faiths, and opened the door for languages besides Latin to be used during Mass, bringing the Catholic Church closer to the people. The Second Vatican Council has also admitted for the first time that the Pope could be wrong, rejecting the doctrine of papal infallibility. What prompted such a turn in the Catholic Church in the early 1960s, besides the cultural changes of that period, is perhaps the life experiences of Pope John XXIII. He, unlike many previous popes, lived as a young priest in Italy, Bulgaria, and Turkey, and later in Greece and Paris. His life experience allowed him to appreciate diversity and be more willing for an aggiornamento. And as the Catholic Church is a top-down authority, Pope Francis's role in reshaping the Church will have a huge impact on its future, its structure, and its followers.